Hey, Jovan here with your free college basketball extended clip play for Thursday, November 27th, 2025. Happy Thanksgiving. Now, you know us here at Pick Dawgz. We love giving out free picks. But if you want my best bets, the bets that I'm putting in today, go to the website, pickdawgz.com, where you can find my or one of our other world-class handicappers picks for today. Now, let's do a recap of what happened last night like we always do, and yeah, it wasn't pretty all across the board. We won the Tennessee Volunteers, and no, it didn't happen. First half it did, and I might have to start looking at the first half alternate lines because I've been pretty spot on my first halves. If you know me, you know my first halves be hitting, but that's neither here nor there. We're gonna put that aside. And second half happened and Bill's self squad came alive. Now, I will say that pregame, everything that I said would happen did happen. We had gave it out. The original line was minus 3.5. I said it was going to move from 3.5 to 4.5 to 5.5. And that's exactly what it did. So the market moved with me, which is, a pretty good position to be in more times than not. At least that's, how you should feel better when the market moves with you and you've identified the game before the move. That's one of the things about handicapping. I don't really take stock into that, but that's what they say. But so that was a plus side. But the bottom line is they play it on the court. And one thing about it is you don't go against Bill's self in November in these tournament games. That's basically a tried and true statement that I'm making right there. So, yeah, it bit me in the ass going against Bill's self. They ended up winning by 5. So I got to move on from that, because I particularly liked Tennessee, and that was the last game on the cutting room floor of my premium picks. And I had 2 games that I wanted to give out. Tennessee for 2 games that was extended clip possibilities. Tennessee and Wichita State. I chose Wichita State. That was my last premium pick. So, it's just one of those things where the stronger play for me slightly was Wichita State, and that ended up being a positive thing for people that buy the picks. For the external clip, which I bet on all day, every day, not so much. So, we just got to do better in this external clip, and it'll run our record to, that loss runs our record to 25, 35, and 2. At plus $602. So we're still entrenched to the green, but yeah, we're backsliding. I don't like it at all, and gotta put the screws to this thing. The 2-teamer also didn't hit. Yeah, that 2-teamer. Now, the Pelicans was the right side. They took it to overtime. They ended up losing by 5. It's gonna happen, but I was good with that. They fought hard. They did what they had to do. But those Sacramento Kings, boy, yeah. Every time I get pulled in the back in these bums, they do this. Now, we backed them 3 games ago. They get blown out the door. Then I watched them as underdogs go into Denver and then play Minnesota and get outright wins. So you know what I'm thinking? Okay, against Phoenix, they're running a little bit hot. They're on a little spurt. Let's back them. Wrong move. So I got to stay away from them bums. They're an old team, long in the tooth, and, they're just players that they're a collective of players that's playing out the string of their careers, basically. So, But without further ado, forget about all that. We are going to go to our Extendo clip play of the day, and we are going to take it to Nassau, Bahamas, where the Colorado State Rams are facing the Wichita State Sharkers. And this tournament that they're in, it is called the Marriott Bonvoy Battle for Atlantis tournament. Now, both of these teams lost last night. Wichita State, which I had on my premium side, got the job done. They battled hard against St. Mary's, and it looked like for a second there they were going to pull off the upset, but they didn't. They ended up losing by 5. The Rams of Colorado State, on the other hand, they also lost. It was a 2-point game against the Hokies of Virginia Tech. They played a pretty solid game as well. But the difference between these two teams are their defense. The Rams play none, not really, and the Sharkers do. You know, they only allowed 38 point whatever percent from the field. They don't allow much of 3-point range. They're rock solid defensive 3-point defensive team, and they don't give up much as far as points. You know, so those are things that I look for when I'm on a team. You know, because a lot of these stats and a lot of these trends and so on and so forth and angles, not angles, but you know, things that you look at the stat line, it's a lot of fluff. But there are certain things, but certain bottom line stats that speak to me, and I rely on my handicapping, especially in basketball. You know, when you're talking about from a X's and O's or a statistical perspective. You know, there's spots and situations and so on and so forth that I also delve into, you know, because I am a situational handicapper. But yeah, the separation for me in this game is defense. And the Sharkers, you know, they're 6-0 against the spread. Are they 6-0 against the spread in there? Let's check it out, because I might be talking about another team. So I don't want to give y'all the wrong information. Yeah, 6-0 against the spread. You know, and sometimes you want to fade that. But in this situation, absolutely not. Now, I know the Rams, they're a hell of a shooting team, hell of an offensive team, over 50% from the field. I believe the number 1 3-point shooting team as far as percentage-wise. You know, and they shoot the ball very well. I believe, let me backtrack that. They're the number 1 free throw shooting team in the nation, and they're, you know, one of the top teams as far as 3-point percentage. So, you know, they could put up a lot of points, but given Wichita State's defense, I just think that the wrong team's favored in this situation. And right now it's +1.5 with Wichita State. We're going to move through 0 and take Wichita State -2.5 at +145. Let's reiterate that for you. Wichita State -2.5 at +145. And one more thing about this game that really doesn't matter, but you know, it kind of matters to me. The last time we got a Extendo clip win, who was it against? It was against, yes, these Colorado State Rams. And that was when Denver, the Pioneers, went in to their home turf and got the job done, won by 2 points. And Colorado State, they've lost their last 2. So, you know, good offensive team, a lot to be desired on the defensive end of the court. So that's our Extendo clip play. Book a cash to do what you got to do with it, but go to the website, pickdawgz.com, where you can find mine or one of our other world-class handicappers picks. Now it's Thanksgiving. We have some good action in the NFL today, and I got 3 plays up on the board. I will have 1 more play up on the board, but that will be for longer term subscribers. And I'm putting my 10-2 Thursday NFL record on the line with these plays. You know, usually have one play for Thursday night for the NFL, but look, there's a lot of action out there, a lot of games that I like situationally, so jump on board that. Now smash that like button, let's get this money, and hit the book where it hurts.